Well, I just got to the crib. Man, I've been up 32 hours straight, bro.
Talk to me about it. What did you do?
It was tough. We hit fam came up,
You
drove. Yeah, we hit it. We hit it, bro.
How long did that take?
It was what 20. It was 21. 21 hours. Shit, we took a few stops, but we hit it in one straight go.
Yeah, that's tough.
It's brutal.
20 hours, sheesh. Yeah.
Brutal.
I did was 11 to Detroit, and I had to like stop in Kentucky for a day. Like, God.
Oh, you weird.
20 hours. Oh my God. That's a day.
Right.
Y'all rotate drivers or something?
Yeah, I have my sister with me, so she did a little something.
Yeah.
But man, I was down. I threw back about 4 of them little bang joints.
Yeah.
Got after.
Nah, I bet. But nah, I'm gonna make this short and sweet because I know playoffs and shit. Wofford about to play and you going about your day. But I appreciate you hopping on, bro.
Already.
Bet. Cool. I'm about to start it. I was recording. Cool. So Kendall, welcome to the pod, bro. I appreciate you hopping on. I think this is a special pod for me. One, because of why I want you on here, right? And two, because of just the character you have and the person you are and what you displayed in 2020. So thanks for dropping in, bro. I know you're in Durham back home off season. So how's that going so far?
For sure. Yeah, I just got back in this morning and getting everything situated. Get ready for this off season.
My boy just told me he had a 20-hour drive. How was that? Colorado to Durham. Sheesh.
Brutal. Yeah. It's two of us. We got our energy drinks in, man, and we hit it.
I feel it. Well, I want to introduce how I know you, right? Because just a story. I was going into my senior year. I was second semester junior. You came to Wake. You were an early enrollee at quarterback. Went to Southern Durham. Won a state champion. So you came in with high expectations, right? You were a good recruit, and everybody was excited to have you there, right? And so I went through that whole spring training. It was a ostensible quarterback competition, open competition with you and Wofford, and then that goes into that summer camp, right? And I remember going to media day. They asked, how do I feel about you? Were one of the questions because it was obviously a publicized quarterback battle. I was comfortable with you taking the helm, right, and you doing what you got to do if necessary, and you had that opportunity. And then I come back to campus probably like a week or so later, and you run up to me like, "Yo, I appreciate you saying that." Like my coach told me about the write up, and so you having that humility, right, and you were kind of quiet. I would say you stayed in South Hall, which was like, the mansions of the dorm. So you were everybody used to come to you, right? You and Tabari were roommates and y'all had your own spot. So you coming up to me and saying that I was a captain, senior, was really, showed the humility of you. And that was kind of my first glimpse of K2, right? And then going to the season and you go back and forth with the starting role and getting your opportunity and you made it shake. So tell us a little bit from a kid from Southern Durham, what brought you to Wake to begin with?
Right. So I think the big thing with Wake was, as an alum, that, they prioritize the academics and the education. That's just something I grew up with. That comes first. Snap of the finger, football gone.
Right.
So
a lot of people don't know that, right? A lot of people don't think about that coming out of high school, and
for sure.
That's one thing I want other people, especially people from our community, to realize is it's going to be a lot of life, even if you are a Super Bowl champion, right? It's going to be a lot of life when you are done. And I think the COVID has shown a lot of people that, right? You can't sit in your house forever. Like that shit just ain't cutting it, right? Even if you got all the money in the world, you got to do something.
Exactly.
And if you ain't doing what you love, then it becomes, kind of a miserable, or not a miserable, but not an enjoyable thing. So I was glad to have you. I always had your back, right? And going through that competition, and the ups and downs, our offense, we were 3-9 the year before, 3-9 that year as well. So I wouldn't say you had the best set of tools at your disposal at the time. We were rebuilding, second year coach, getting his recruits in the program, other guys that were there that, were weeding out those type of people.
Yeah, he was getting those. Yeah.
And so, you were really the only way our offense would move the ball, right? You would get in, and it was funny because you would get in the biggest games, the Notre Dames, the Clemsons, and we were March, and then I'm on the sideline going 3-and-out, and now I'm not because Kendall's in that. So
Exactly.
it was glad to see that. But what was your mindset going through that competition, right? Because you had a competitor in John Walford, who's actually ironically getting his first playoff start today. But you had a competitor, and then he was coming off a starting season, right? And you
Right.
being a freshman, early enrollee, looking to take his place. What was your mindset in that? Because I think that attests to your character from then till now, right? Of how you adapted, resilient, and kind of stay sharp.
Yeah, for sure. And I just want to give a big shout out to John. His start today, but yeah, like you said, like coming into college, I was probably more humble than I wish I was at the time. But I came in like blank slate, just wanting to learn, and
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping to play freshman year, but it was a dream. It was a um, wasn't realistic until I kind of got there, and I'm like, oh shit, like I can play with these dudes.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, it just went on from there. Just building that confidence that first semester.
What do you mean you were? I haven't heard that before. You were more humble than you wish you should have been at the time. What do you mean by that?
Right, and when I say humble, I probably more so passive. Uh,
Mm.
um, I think that really gave John, a step ahead of me when it came to the team, and just his leadership skills. Um, you know, he spoke up more. He was interacted with the coaches more. Just
That's
things like that. Interacted with
yeah,
guys more.
yeah. And,
And and
go ahead.
good, good.
No, I would say that's kind of what I thought you meant because at that quarterback position, right? You're the face of the team. You're the face of
Right.
basically the offense. You're that leader, like that unsung hero kind of. And I can see that, right? Because you did come in, you weren't, and that was just your personality. It's no fault to
Yeah.
yourself, right?
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
I get what you're saying. But bet so then 2 years later, you switch to wide receiver. You say, all right, I can't, you know, overtake this position, but I'm here for a reason, right? So one, you didn't, decide to just call it quits and mail it in and just get those 4 years, get the degree and get out. You
Bro.
said, I'm gonna make the best out of this opportunity. So you switched to wide receiver. How was that opportunity? Was it something that the coaches approached you about? Did you say, coach, like I'm not getting on the field, you guys aren't playing me no matter what I do? Can I, find the best use of my talents? What was that conversation like in that process?
Right. And I mean you were there. My early stages. So and I'll be honest, like I got in some trouble. And I mean some of the things some of the small things I got caught up, but over time they just built up, and I had a horrible training camp that year, and going into that season I was going to be out 3 games for suspension,
Mm.
and so it honestly wasn't my idea, but I wasn't opposed to it for sure, because I knew I it was going to be hard to get that QB1 role again, like I wanted it, and so receiver gave me the quickest and best opportunity.
Yeah, no, and then your senior year, right? 1,000-yard receiver ultimately gave you opportunity to be in the position you are today, right? And
Right.
and just being able to one take advantage. I forgot what game it was. Obviously, I watched a lot of Wake games as an alum. It was I want to say at Wake, you caught like a last second touchdown in the back of the end
That
zone
was
by the
like,
hill.
yeah, like second game. Yeah.
Yeah,
First or second, Utah
yeah.
State.
Utah State.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
it was
wild.
like a
It was
game
wild.
winner type deal, right?
It was probably about one minute in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was kind of like I'm here to stay, I'm here to play, right? I'm not just, another guy out here. And I love that about you, right? Because it takes resilience, it takes a different type of mindset, right? And then you get 1,000 yards, you get an opportunity to get opportunity with the Broncos, right? And
Right.
two other guys, Stranad and Bassie, were out there with you. And so let's talk about that, because that's, I think, a great story as well. Because I went to Denver. Obviously, my brother plays in Denver. This was probably 2-3 weeks before Thanksgiving. Just went to visit, right? Lockdowns and stuff. I wanted to get out the house. Went to Denver. Stranad, yo, come eat. Let's, connect. I haven't seen him since I probably left Wake, right? And then he said, K2's in the cell. They're
Right.
loading him up. He about to come out. I said, yo, that's crazy. But the timing was perfect. We all went out to dinner.
Yeah.
You on a P squad that week, and then I go home 2 weeks later. This man is starting.
And QB1. Right.
QB1.
Right.
So tell us about that, because I know last minute. I'm obviously see it on Twitter, right? It's floating in the air that the Broncos quarterback room is all having a quarantine, contact tracing. I know Royce Freeman probably was their emergency quarterback if it was last year, if you weren't on the team. I know, you can't sign a guy one day who's not on your team. So then It really comes to you, and it's a possibility. It's becoming more and more of a possibility. And then Bradley, they get out of meetings. Bradley texts me Saturday evening or whenever y'all got out of meetings in the hotel. He said, it's K2 time, right? And I saw you coming out of the facility. So tell me about that, right? Because obviously, I think you're the best person for that position, right? Because you're used to that, right? Because your journey through Wake, switching from QB to wide receiver, and even coming back from the issues you had at your second and third year, right? And to get to that wide receiver position. So tell us about just one day waking up and realizing I'm gonna have to go against Cam Jordan, right? In that ferocious defense, and not really having any preparation, but knowing that you could do it.
Right.
You could do it. Right? I don't want to put words.
Like going in, oddly, I have it's crazy amount of confidence. Because I've never seen an NFL game. I have no idea what I'm looking for. So all I know is what I can do.
Right.
And so I'm going out, I haven't played quarterback in 2-3 years, but I feel like I can make guys miss, and I'm gonna do what I can. So I was going out there to have fun and try to make some plays and do our best I could. And it was a tough game. Play calling wise, and getting a guy like me who has just got there 3 weeks ago, trying to learn this offensive system. So it made it really tough on our OC for sure. But it's a ball.
Yeah, and I was curious about this. Did you playing receiver? Obviously, I don't know how to read offensive playbook, right? So I don't know how y'all learn plays. But did you playing receiver and knowing, I guess, offensive plays at receiver kind of help with the quarterback, or you
no
everything?
No
Does
question.
that help?
No question. I knew our route concepts, and I could do everything on paper and whatnot. But as a ball player, when the ball is snapped, it's different. It's a different ball game out there.
Yeah. Does that help? Does that help you at receiver though? Having that quarterback mindset, knowing what the quarterback looks for when you break in a route tree, or knowing when to break and stuff like that.
Like even going back to a huddle after a route, oh, you wanted me to break boom here because you was on a 3 and firm, or and just having that knowledge.
That's hard. That's hard. That's good shit. I didn't even think about that until obviously saying it out loud. But also, one thing we talked about at dinner, because I've been through this, right? I was on practice squad my rookie year. Second year, I was on IR. And then coming back from that IR, third year, I was on practice squad again, trying to recover from an ACL. And I understand, I talk about opportunity cost, right? You actually posted something on Instagram today about it, and I was going to talk about it anyway, but Nick Adams, he's a partner with me at our VC firm, Captain Partners. He reached out to me one day. This is probably September. It was like, hey, this Kendall Hinton guy? I was like, yeah, Kendall, blah, blah, blah. What about him? He said, he's reaching out to somebody about this med sales position. What do you think about him? And I was like, great guy, resilient. I told him everything we just talked about, right? Overcame, opportunity and made a name for himself at Wake Forest when he ended his career, blah, blah, blah. And then he said, yeah, I think he wants to do med sales. I'm gonna reach out to him, blah, blah, blah. So you get that going, right? And then I guess probably 3 weeks from now, or 3 weeks from you studying and really getting immersed in that system, you're getting a call from your agent saying, hey, Broncos want to bring you back. So can you elaborate more on just that weird niche that only a few hundred people will ever understand in their lifetime, right? Because you can't really work on that off the field. You can't really work on that future earning. You can't even really make money, right? People don't understand that. You make their thing. So talk about that. It's crazy because people don't get it.
It's tough. It's tough. For sure. Because it's any real athlete with dreams want to go to the NFL, and
Right.
and aspire to, play with the best. So, your whole life, that's priority.
Right.
Because it's only a small, amount of time you got to do it. So that's what you're worrying about, this whole time. And you take for granted all these, you know, internships and, the experience, knowledge you can be getting outside of, the football, the sports arena. And so, even with a weight degree, I'm going through pro day and I'm like, hey, if NFL don't work out, I got a degree, I got a weight degree, I'll be good. And the day actually came, like football's gone, and all I got is this weight degree. And it was tough. It's tough because it's not like people are just jumping in your phone to, hey, come work for me, or um, NFL. It's tough when you get cut and trying to continue to work out, but also deciding, hey, whether when to stop it and it's tough. And I feel like you can definitely relate for sure. But yeah, it was a balance game for a few months.
Because people don't realize, right? You have this weight degree, but you also have confidence in Kendall that Kendall could play in the NFL. And NFL, exactly. Not talking negative on anybody, but it's a game of opportunity, right? A lot of people you'll see they had opportunities that you did it and then they made the most out of it when they got it. But some people just don't have certain opportunities, right? So if I get that one opportunity, I can make the most of it. But at the same time, I gotta pay these bills. I gotta work on, because it's kind of, I don't know, it's a delusion, right? Because you don't want to get overconfident and then slip into a delusionary false reality where you're chasing this NFL dream for 3 years and ain't done shit for the past 3, right? But then it's also like, I don't want to let people down, right? You gave me this opportunity, you hired me, and then 2 weeks from now, 2 days from now, 2 hours from now, I could call and quit because I'm gonna go chase this check, right? And I'm gonna go chase my other dream, right? So it's interesting that you played that in the way you played it, right? And then you obviously went down memory lane today because you understand how crazy that shit is, right? You're studying about to make these sales and make a career. At the same time, your agent calls you and says, cool. And then I'm just gonna go right into the next question, just so it doesn't sound fucked up. Cool. So, hey, tell me about the lessons you learned from that game, right? Because you got from people from Von Miller to Cameron Jordan to guys in the highest echelon of NFL legacies and stuff like that. Showing mad respect for you. You got the respect of the whole league for one, but two, got a Hall of Fame memorabilia now. You're in a Hall of Fame, NFL Hall of Fame. And if I ask, and I was thinking about this during the game because people, everybody at Wake was talking pregame and excited for you. And they said, how does he think he's going to do? And I told them, at the end of the day, if I ask Kendall Hinton, the guy who came up to me after media day, that, how much would you pay to be an NFL starting quarterback for the Broncos? He would have gave me his whole bank account, right? But at the same time, you got that opportunity and you also led to more opportunities for yourself, right? Because the coaches saw that, every GM in the league saw that, every player respects you. And now people at home, right? All these Wake alums, you have this weight degree. Football's gonna stop one day. They all understand your story, right? Clausen seeing that. These Bob McCreary, Ben Sutton, these guys are paying Wake Forest $30 million to build facilities.
Buku bread. Yeah, for sure.
So what was kind of the lessons you learned and how do you move after that, right?
Yeah, so I think a lesson that I took from this is something that I've kind of tried to preach lately, is that everything happens for a reason, and that's something I truly believe. Like the fact, and it's crazy. Like I look at it from the fact that the trouble I got in college, moving me to wide receiver, like that doesn't happen. Like I'm not here now.
Right.
So just appreciating everything that happens, good or bad. Yeah, and taking that not even looking at as adversity, but something to learn from, grow from.
Nah, 100%. I'm glad you said that because I say that a lot, right? Everything happens for a reason. And, you know, as I preach that and believe that 100% in my life as well, right? If I, you know, I never got hurt at Wake. I never missed a game. And then I, second year in the NFL, tear my ACL, right? So it was a traumatic event, but that happened for a reason. It led me to work on branding off the field and connect for a whole year while getting paid, right? And being able to still open those doors for myself and work on post football opportunities. And so being able to, like you said, think about if I still would have played quarterback and played quarterback for 4 years at Wake, yeah, you still might have been a NFL quarterback, but would you be a guy who has all this respect and has a legacy?
I don't think I'm an NFL quarterback, to be real with you. And
really,
like, you know, that's why I look at it like I probably would have graduated, you know, 4 years, you know, pretty successful career,
right?
some good stats, and you know, I
Yeah.
would have got. I'm sure I would have got my shot, but you know, undrafted quarterback, you're a camp arm.
Right. No, that's real. That's real. And the way you think about that, bro, that's crazy. Because I mean, you know, the future is and I'm not saying it wasn't bright before, but the future is bright for you, right? Because of this newfound respect that now you're a household name, literally. How crazy is that, right? And
it's hard to believe.
So my wife works in social media, you know, Cass, and
right.
I mean, she saw your numbers. She was like, "Man, this man got 50,000 overnight." I said, "Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the value of, you know, being able to be in those situations and learn from them and take control of your opportunity." But nah, bro, I appreciate you hopping on. I just want to pick your brain on that. I think that Broncos game was the final nail in the coffin. I was like, yeah, like his story has come, you know, the 360 has completed. I can finally, you know, get him on here and we could chat and really see this come to fruition, right? Because you could say everything happens for a reason, and that reason is not going to show itself and it's not going. You're not going to wake up and figure out that reason, right? It's not going to happen in the next 5 hours, 5 minutes. It's going to happen 5 years from now, you know, 5 months from now. It's just. Yeah. So now you got to see one of those reasons happen. And there's other things that happen in your life that are still in maturation process, and those will fulfill itself as well. But being able to have that kind of story, you know, fairy tale ending is awesome, bro. So appreciate you hopping on, dog.
No, it's my pleasure, man. I always enjoy talking to you, bro.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'll holler at you, bro. Have a good all season and we'll kick it from there.
Appreciate you. You too. Hit me, bro.
All right, bro. Appreciate you, bro. All right.